down in the den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.
Nigga, that's mine. That's mine. Yeah, nigga, that's mine. That's mine. Nigga, that's mine. That's mine.
Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Marz, aka Marlon Beardo, the bearded weirdo, the Stella Rosa Casanova, the curator of culture, and the Shud Knight of this podcasting game. And I am here on the road, not in the studio, but I could not miss an opportunity to present to you guys a talented individual. She is a musician. She is a creator. She is a business owner, and she is here to share some of her light. The immaculate, the amazing Dom. How you doing today, Dom?
I'm good, Dom. Thanks for thanks for having me.
Absolutely, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, and thank you for gracing us here in the den. So we have a tradition here. I am a big comic book nerd. I grew up reading every single comic book I could get my hands on. And one tradition that we have in here, I always say every hero, every villain has an origin story. Something that put them on the path to become who they are. So I ask you, what's your origin story?
Okay, great. Okay, so origin story. Listen, at first I thought you were going to ask me who's my favorite character and something else like that. I was like,
I wouldn't do that to you. You're too cool for that. I wouldn't do that to you.
But I actually, I can't say I have a favorite character, but on my first EP, I did a likeness of Emma Frost, and it was like a really cool little something because not a lot of people know about Emma Frost. So I did this.
I know about the White Queen. Trust me. You're talking to the comic book king.
So my hair was platinum white. So one of the scenes in one of my videos, I wanted to like do a likeness to her. So we created like a whole little like custom piece, like as far as my outfit was concerned, that was based on something that I saw about her. So that was really cool. And then this year for Halloween, I chose another character, but I guess you'll see that in a couple weeks.
Didn't reach since I left you, evidently you the problem. Only time that we talk now is if I charge you by the hour. No line, straight PJ, freak flyer. You been on sex shit, nigga, too long, retired.
Origin story, music. I've been doing music off and on since I was young. You know, a lot of people say that they're like, I've been singing since I was 3. I mean, and it wasn't exactly that. You know, when I was probably in middle school, my mom started putting me like in talent showcases and stuff like that. And then once I got to college, I joined like a gospel choir because I was always told that music wasn't a career. Like it wasn't a viable career. So I had to choose something to study and do, but it couldn't be that because, you know, what are you going to do? It's not a career, as they say. Exactly. So I was going to be a doctor, you know, all the things. But when I got to school, I just wasn't passionate about what I was doing. I very much enjoyed exploring the music space. I ended up stopping. Like I left school, I went home, and I joined an R&B group. And that's where I learned a lot about like recording in the studio and writing with other people about harmonies and things like that, which I very much enjoyed. And I'd say my foundation was in that space. And then I started having kids and I was like, okay, this is hard, you know, just to work a full-time job and be at the studio overnight and then still have, you know, people to take care of and stuff like that. It was just a lot. So I took a step back. Then I joined a gospel group because I figured, oh, this can work. You know, like I can travel every now and then, you know, because they didn't travel a lot. But it was still a strain. And I learned a lot about the industry and how the industry is the industry. And it does not matter what genre it is you're choosing to operate in because the industry it's the same. The people
has
in
no
the industry the people are the same. You know what I'm saying? So it's like the people are the people. And that's what I learned. And it actually put me in a headspace where I was really like disenchanted, like with all of it. It was kind of like, you know, what am I doing here type vibes. But later on, after I had been in this entrepreneurial space for several years, I met my now business partner, and we had like a vision casting type conversation. And he, you know, we talked about where I was at in the couple of businesses that I had at that time. And he was like, what do you really want to do? And I'm like, I want to get back to music, really, you know, if we're being honest. He's like, well, let's build a studio. And in my head, I'm like, are you crazy? But out of my mouth was okay. It was like, okay.
Let's get it.
So we built a studio. And we opened the first room January 2020, like right before the lockdown, you know, quarantine.
Right.
So, you know, just like most people's businesses, we had to pivot when everything shut down. And so we started focusing on virtual production. So like anybody who needed anything to transition it from being in person to being virtual, like conferences and church services and concerts and all that stuff. So he had a production background, visual and audio. So we got cameras, we were streaming people's keynotes. It was whatever we could do to make it work because we had this space, you know. And then we were working on our own personal projects. But, you know, you got to pay for the space still. So yeah, so we were balancing writing and recording and working on our own projects, and then also running a business, you know, growing a business. And growing a business in the pandemic, especially one that's really based on in-person things, it's very difficult. But we're still here, and we have an amazing facility. It's 17,000 square feet, and we do every aspect of digital media production that there is. So it's kind of like a one-stop shop for small businesses and independent artists, and sometimes labels send their artists here and stuff like that. So I very much enjoy being able to work on both sides.
As I was saying, necessity breeds creativity, and we are pandemic babies on our podcast. We started technically December 31st, 2019, but we didn't know when we started what was right around the corner. So we had the same things, building the studio, building a fan base, doing that all during the pandemic. So you dropped your first project in 2021, IRL, and it was a concept project. I listened to it, which is super dope because we don't get that anymore. You know, I'm in 90s, baby, where that was a thing, but now we live in a world of single.
Yes.
So I think that's super dope. For those who haven't checked out IRL, tell us how that came about.
So I decided that there was kind of like this, I don't know, a progression as far as operating in the music space. And so it went from, okay, we're recording our own music. We're starting a label to facilitate our needs. So we have our own personal imprint. Oh, we're going to sign other people now, which was kind of out of the blue. It wasn't the original plan, but we just fell in love with certain people and their gifts. And we're like, please let us put this out. So we put out a song on another artist, which was my first like executive producing, you know, like I'm executive producer here. Like, here we go. Then they were like, Dominique, you have to do a Christmas song. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll do, you know, a Christmas song, pick something that I love to sing, but also I used to lead worship during a bilingual service, like a Spanish-English bilingual service, and I am not fluent in Spanish at all. So let me just throw that out there. I'm not. However, I used to lead worship for a Spanish-English bilingual service because I love that language and I love how it sounds. And so I fell in love with everything about that. So I decided to do that for a Christmas single. I was like, I'll do a Spanish-English thing. And so that was the first release as a solo, like, singer, like a vocalist. Here you go. Here's a Christmas song. Put my toe in. This is exactly what that is. Then it was the next project we released was this thing that me and my partner put together called The Collective. And it's a inspirational group, if you want to call it that, but it's really he and I highlighting other artists from whatever genre singing inspirational music. So it's like we may not operate in the same genre in our artistry, however we share the same faith. So this is the platform for us to come together and, you know, do music with that. So that was my first, like, I'm writing and, you know, singing, executive producing. So it was like every project that came out, I added something. So now on this project, not only am I executive producer and I'm singing, but I'm also writing. So it's like, okay, Dom, you've done these things. So what about artists? You know, like who is Dominique as an artist, like individually? And what do you want your first effort to be? And my business partner was like, this is a visual EP. It has to be visual EP. If you want to tell your story really, like, it has to be a visual. And I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. And I was like, I just want to give them relationship. So essentially journey through different elements of relationship that I was experiencing at that time, probably over the past like 4 years, maybe, like this transition from initially feeling like betrayed and like having devoted a lot into this commitment. And then from there, it was very much like, let's see, that was end date. So like forever has an end date, essentially. So you commit to someone, you get married, whatever, and then you find out like, oh, this can end.
Right.
Forever is not technically forever. Got it. But then you move on into like, I think Bag Talk was next, I want to say. Or is it, I'm like losing my train of thought, like, what is the order of my own EP? So you go from, I'm better without you, essentially. You know, like, okay, fine, you messed up, whatever, I'm moving. Crazy is what's next. And crazy is actually my favorite part of the whole thing. Like, it's visually. Crazy is my favorite portion of the whole visual EP. So it's like, okay, you betrayed me. Now I'm crazy. And I could really like fuck you up, but I'm not. So there's that. Then it's Bag Talk. So like, I'm better without you, essentially. Like, I'm up, my money's up, my business is up, I'm good. Really, I am. And then next was Maneater. So it's, now I'm out here, but I don't really know if y'all understand how much of a problem I am. Like, you know, like you can come talk to me if you want to, but I'm not sure you really are ready or want to deal with me in this space. So we out here in these streets, like it's very much like, you know,
outside, literally, we're outside.
So Maneater, exactly what it sounds like. And then the last song was Know Me, and that one is more like, okay, I have found someone who's pursuing me and who's really relentless in trying to prove to me that I can love and I can trust. And, you know, but like really you have to know me. Like you have to get to know me before I'll give myself to you. So is that what we're doing? You know, so that's it. That's the...
I love it. I love the artistry. I love the thought behind it. We need more thought in music.
Yeah.
Even though I'm a 90s baby, my father, who I credit him and my brother for my love for music, and he would bring records from Vietnam and he would put them on and be like, who is this? I'm like, all right, it's Leonard Skinner. Who's this? And it's Average White Band. He would quiz me, who is Stevie Wonder?
Nice.
And storytelling music and the thought of music. It's really a audio movie, and we lose that in the TikTok generation. So it pleased me when I was doing my research interview and just, you know, checking out your projects.
And like the space that I'm in right now, and people, a lot of people who think that they know me were surprised at the space that I'm in right now. And I'm like, it's because you really don't get it. This space that I'm in right now is like fun. This is fun for me. So this is just like create all shit that makes me like smile and happy and like want to just dance and do whatever, and it's say whatever, it's whatever basically. And that's why they're all singles, because they're not really, it's not a story.
Right.
It's none of that. It's just kind of like, I love this beat, I just want to like shake some, I love this, so like let's just talk shit over here to so and so, whatever. That's really all this is. And I call it, like, I have referred to it as my ratchet era, because I think people put you in a box, you know, like as an artist, and they're like, this is what I expect from you, and this is where you should live based on your lifestyle or your age or your gender or whatever it is, you know, or how you function in other spaces, or, you know, oh my God, your image is so important because it reflects these other things and it affects this and that and this. And I'm like, but I'm just me. Can I just be me? Like, whatever that is. And if I'm going to play the music in my car and go out and listen to the music, like, why can't I also make the music? I don't see the problem with that. So that's what this space is for me right now. And it's really fun. I compare it to, you know, when you're at home and you're young and your mom is like, don't slam my doors, don't put your feet on the couch, you can't jump on your bed. Like, that's unheard of to do any of those things. It's like,
my mom slapping me on the back of my head, just the thought of it.
Listen, exactly. But then, you know, if you are the family that like went on like road trips and like stayed in like these like hotels, motels, you know, side road type vibes, and then your parents are just kind of like, you know what, it's whatever. Like, go ahead, you know, do the thing that you can't do at home. Bounce on the bed or run around with your shoe. You know, like it's fine, because we're letting loose a little bit. And you can see them cringing because it's against everything within them. But, you know, sometimes the pressures that go on elsewhere, they can like for a moment just say, you know what, let me let my kids be kids in this 5 minutes or whatever this is, because, you know, this isn't I didn't pay for this stuff really, so it ain't mine, so they mess it up, whatever. That's that. This music is me jumping on the bed and being like 8 years old and a pillow fighter or whatever. That's what this is.
We need that. I feel sometimes people feel adulthood is about losing the inner child. And I always feel adulthood is about making that inner child as happy as possible.
Yes.
They force you to grow up far, far too fast. And I love that you have it, as you say, the ratchet girl time. I call it the freedom time.
Yes.
We all need that time. And sometimes we get it at 20, and sometimes we get it at 75. But you have to have it. So
yes.
Music and the singles. You dropped one this summer. That's D.E.N. Banks, dope. You got the new single IRL, and you mentioned, or I'm going to
meet.
My mouth won't meet the sound, but it's dope music, and like you said, it's a departure of what people thought. And right now, you're just having fun.
Yes.
What is the importance? What would you let any young girl, young boy out there that's thinking about venturing and getting music? What's the importance about? Or stress the importance of making music for you that you are happy with versus trying to step on a trend or doing something that's not you. Please, because that's what the D.E.N is all about. D.E.N's an acronym, by the way, for Dreams and Nightmares. Because when I started this dream of, you know, podcasting and getting in contact with artists, it ended a lot of the stress and nightmares that I had from coming from corporate America, doing something that my soul was not attached to.
Yeah.
Please let people know the importance of making the music for you that you enjoy.
Well, first of all, I tell people all the time, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and they say, how do you do all these different things, whatever? And sometimes I'm like, I don't know. But because the important part for me is I don't wake up in the morning and do anything that I'm not passionate about, ever. I'm not doing it. I've been there, done that. Don't have time. Not happening. I've done whatever I had to do to put myself in a position to every day put my energy into something that I care about, no matter what it is. And some of the stuff is completely unrelated to other things. But if I have an ounce of passion related to it, I'm like, ooh, you know, like I want to put something over there, and I want to create over here, and I want to put something together for this space. And it makes me happy. So why would I show up in music any differently? Why would I take the time and energy and resources to create something that I'm not connected to in any way, that does not make me happy? It's a waste of time. It's a waste of money, and I get it, because some people feel like that's how you get to the bag. Like, you have to do what the industry is telling you to do, whatever is trending, and that's how you're going to get to it, like the success of it. But really, really, one of the most important things that someone told me, I was at a conference in Florida called Drill Down Level Up. And some of it was about sync, like the sync industry. And some of it was about building your fan base, but it was all targeted toward independent artists. And one of the points that they made that never really occurred to me prior to that was, it doesn't really take a lot of people to sustain your music career, if that's what you want. Like, what you want, you have to determine what is success to you. Like, what does success mean or look like quantify it, okay? Because everybody's not going to be Drake or Beyonce, right, or Taylor Swift, or whoever, Maroon 5. Like, they're just not, period. But there's an audience for everyone who's going to put in the effort and be consistent. Because the consistency part is like, that's where the discipline comes in. It is hard. I struggle with it. Social media, all of it. I don't want to do it. But it's the world we live in, and what we have to do to promote our music. But when they broke it down in that conference and they said, okay, how much money really annually do you need to sustain yourself? Like, how much do you need to bring home to say, I'm good? Like, I have what I need. I can support myself or my family or whatever. Cool. Take that and break it down by like a few $100s and figure out how many people you have to genuinely connect with that are going to spend a few $100s with you annually. Like, people who will buy tickets to the show, who will buy merch, who will, buy your single, your album, whatever it is. Like, how many people is that really? And it's not that many people. It is literally not that many people.
I say this all the time. There's 8 billion and counting on the world. Mm-hmm. That's a lot of people. If you can get a few thousand to support you, you're good. I know people on social media with 6,000 followers and haven't figured out a way to monetize it. And I'm like, if you can get half of those, a quarter of those to support what you do.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm like, my bad. I'm so sorry.
No problem. One of the things Dave Chappelle said when he wanted to become a comedian, and he told his father, and we've all had that conversation when we tell our guardians, our family, our friends that we want to be a creator. I don't even say singer, art. I just call it a creative. Yes. You're bringing light into the world.
Yep.
Their first reaction is usually, like you said, oh, that's not a real job. How are you going to survive? How are you going to do it? And part of it is out of concern, but part of it is out of their brain not being able to comprehend, not being on that 9-to-5 grind, not being, on what we're taught, because the school systems in America train you to be worker bees. They want you to be a worker bee. They don't want you to be your own boss. So I find, and that's one of the things that I love about the independent artists, because all of us are on that grind for the bag, but we're all doing it in our own unique way, but we have similar stories. So that's amazing to me. Now bouncing from the music and going back into being a business owner, the clothing line. Yeah. When I heard about the Nikki Green, you're going to have to enlighten me, because I know about vegan food, but I don't know about vegan clothing. So give us a little bit about the clothing line and the inspiration and where they can find it, because I definitely want to cop.
I love when my business partner talks about me being vegan, because when I say I'm vegan, I mean every aspect of my entire life. It is a lifestyle. It is not just a diet. I'm not on a plant-based diet, because that is what that is. Eating vegan food all the time means you are on a plant-based diet, and that's cool. I don't knock it. I love it. I encourage people to do their part, whatever that is, because I am a like larger worldview person when it comes to that specifically. I want everyone's contributions because I'm looking at it differently, like overall. But I'm vegan for real. So my clothes, my shoes, my car, my furniture, everything in my office, in my home, in things, activities. I don't ride horses. I don't go fishing. I don't go to zoos. I don't go to circuses that involve animals. Everything, every decision that I make is centered in a compassion mindset, and that's what I call it. So I have compassion for other beings, including humans, compassion for the planet, and compassion for myself. Being a speaker, entrepreneur, artist, all of these things, I wear a lot of clothes on camera, carpets, events, stages, whether it's performing or speaking or showing up to an event. There are challenges there because I cannot just walk into a boutique and pick up anything that I think looks cute and put it on, because I don't wear animals. So I have to read all the labels all the time. I do a lot of shopping online. I operate in the luxury space, so I'm constantly looking at different designers, high-end designers, and looking at their production and all that kind of stuff. And I'm curating pieces from their lines, saying, okay, here, to my stylist, put together a look. Here are the things that I bought. So I got tired of that. I'm still going to have to do it in general if I want to wear anything other than what I create. However, I talked to my my stylist. His name is Christian Allen, and he had been a creative director he had designed another line, like a streetwear brand, a high-end streetwear brand, a few years back, or several years back. And I was like, hi, I just want, what I want. Essentially, you dress me, you've been dressing me, you know what I like. I buy all these things. I want a line that's centered around my personality and me, and encompasses all the different facets of who I am as an individual, from one end of the spectrum to the other. So I sent him, mood board. These are the shapes I want to see. These are the colors I want to see. These are, some of the details I want incorporated. And he designed a full line that is inspired by me. So we just launched officially, like our hard launch. We had a runway show during Vegan Fashion Week in LA a couple weeks ago, and we were very, very excited about the feedback and the response that we've gotten so far. And the other aspect of this is that the line is really categorized as a sustainability company in fashion. So we're centering sustainability, and we're creating fashion under that umbrella. Our first go at it was, okay, just make sure everything's vegan. But then I sent the staff, to him and his team, to a textile conference in New York where they had panels on sustainability. And once they heard what all that really entails, it blew their minds. And they were back to the drawing boards with, how can we swap out? Like, we have these pieces that we love, that we want to move forward with, but where can we find the fabrics that we can swap out this for this, so that we're leaning more toward sustainable practices and sustainable fabrics. And so everything is constructed in LA. So that's, a portion of our sustainability, fair wages, and, things like that. That's very important to me. We do an annual collection instead of a seasonal collection, because I didn't want 7 different drops throughout the year. I just wanted to say, here's what 2024 looks like. And people can buy them as the seasons go on, but we're not creating new. We're saying, this is it. It's definitive.
I love it. And that is a beautiful, it, I don't want to seem emotional, but I'm a hippie. And if you can't tell by the beard, I'm a hippie. So, I've been out there grounding, putting my feet in the ground, getting the energy from the earth. So when I hear other like-minded people in the entertainment realm, it touches my heart. Now, is the line just for women? Are you looking to expand to the guys, or is it right now it's just for the ladies?
We're focused on women's wear right now, because like I said, it's centered around me. But I mean, my creative director is a man, and my business partner is a man, and they have wanted their own pieces. And so sometimes, before Christian goes on a trip, he may have something created in the workroom specifically for him to wear on his trips. But we're looking at it. He actually got a pair of pants made based on one of the patterns. Like, we have a stacked faux leather jean, and so he ended up obviously with a pair of his own for himself. And I'm like, okay. People are going to be looking like, where's the men's stuff? Because you're always wearing special stuff, and so we'll see.
Keep it in the back of your mind, because believe it or not, there's a lot of guys out here like myself. I'd rock it in a heartbeat.
Yes.
Hell, I might rock some of the ladies' merch if the color look right. It break out
I was going to say that we actually have to create, because the tee that we have in this signature line is a crop cut, and so I've been asked several times, can you add the rest of the shirt so I can buy this shirt?
I lose 20 pounds. I'll rock the crop top. 20 pounds down.
So we're gonna make a full length, and it's unisex, like, as far as the tailoring is concerned. And then we're coming out with another one that will be a special collection, like a collab with an artist, so like a visual artist.
I love it. Well, Dom, it has been an absolute pleasure. We have to do this again, because I have 600 other topics, but I do respect your time. Yes. Please let the friends of the Den know where they can find your music, where they can find your clothing, any shout outs and any projects that they should be looking for, because 2024 is right around the corner.
It is.
Also, Halloween. I want to see what the Halloween costume is going to be in a couple of weeks. The floor is yours. Let the friends of the Den know where they can find you.
Okay, so my primary platform is Instagram. So Vegan Bae Dom, VGN BAEDOM. Most people know me as Vegan Bae. That's Vegan Bae Studios and Vegan Bae Music Group is what we created here in Houston. So if you're ever in Houston, you have to stop by the studio. We have events that we host here all the time. People rent the space for all kinds of things. Anybody who's small business, independent artists want to rent, recording studio time, or come get photos taken, or shoot a video, whatever it is, hit us up. Let's see. I'm on all digital platforms as Dom. The easiest way to get to me really is just to go to Instagram, link in my bio, and just click from there. But like we talked about earlier, IRL is still out there. That's the EP that I put out 2 years ago. And then I've got this string of singles that I've been releasing since the end of May. So there's SEA, there's I Don't Need. Mine just came out like a week ago. So you can go to YouTube and find me on YouTube, Vegan Bae Dom, and there's a video for all of that stuff. And there's another song probably coming out before the end of the year. I'll probably package it all together, put my little ratchet era situation online for them to get. And then there's new music next year. We started recording new music like in June for next year. So start new stuff February. That's the plan.
I love it. The visuals are dope, guys. Like I said, I'm at 1,000. Any artist I bring on the Den is well vetted for not only their talent, originality, creativity, but they have a similar thing that they love what we do as creators. And I'm so proud to welcome you into the Denmate community. Any single time you have anything you want to promote, you want to chat, anything, you're always welcome here on the Den.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So guys, please check out Dom, check out the clothing, check out the visuals. The visuals are fire. I promise you that. check out the music, check out the studios. We're going to be out there in Houston next year, 2024.
Nice.
We are. We picked this year. We got out to 2 cities to take the Den on the road. We're actually on the road now, filming for our. We have a food show called What the Muck. So we're actually in Baltimore right now, getting some crabs. So we'll see how that works out.
Well, yeah, definitely. Everybody subscribe to my YouTube channel because we're outside of music. That reminded me, we're in production right now for some food centered things. Apparently people like to watch me eat, so we're gonna
it's the thing. I always say, don't chase the bag, bring the energy, and the bag chases you. So
listen, I have learned on Instagram now that there are things that people enjoy seeing me do, or whatever. So the most engagement comes from like in my stories when I'm eating and and then high fashion. They enjoy the high fashion. So it's those things. So I'm like, okay, guys, that's what y'all want. I'm gonna actually, do some things in my own house, in my kitchen, and talk about the stuff that I cook. But I don't cook a whole lot because I travel a lot. So we'll just be, trying other people's things and eating all the food.
Well, I chefed it up quite a bit. Not to toot my own horn, but toot. So when we're in Houston, we normally rent a really nice Airbnb. We have the kitchen. We have the rest of the After Dark crew come in.
Nice.
We'd love to invite you to come in, and we make some vegan dishes. So we'd love for you to come in and try it. I'll get with your business partner, and we'll see if we can link that up for 2024.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Well, Dom, I wish you nothing but continued prosperity, success. Thank you so much for stopping by and sharing some of your light with us. We definitely appreciate that. Guys, you know what to do. I need y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification button so when these episodes drop, you'll be the first to get them. I need you to go follow Dom at the Vegan Bay site, and we'll put all of that in the background. Follow all of her stuff because that's what we do. Show love here at the Den. And as we end every episode the same way, it's all about peace, love, unity, and respect. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Deuces.
So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now.